so welcome to Fatalist Backstory. I mean, I'm just setting things up anyway, but I am gonna hit quick play just to hit quick play. I was gonna say something, but I decided to save it until after the timestamps, as we have Herald, character exclusive, random item Moriko. Well, hopefully the shotgun will still be okay, but let me just remember that for a moment as I start setting things up. Blah blah blah, Moriko's over here. Harbinger. We are doing Fatalist into random item stats, character specific Herald stuff. So, as we get into the Herald Fatalist character exclusive random item Moriko run, I just before this recording, about 30 minutes ago, because I had to rest for 30 minutes to think about what I'd done, as we have second knowledge, light, second mystery, strength, and maybe a charisma check, is that I had a swerve on doing things, mainly game development, but just swerving doing things because I realized that based on the schedule I put out for myself, it's not gonna go well if I plan to do things the same way I'm going. If it sounds like I sound vague, it's because I am. By the way, 4 damage, 92, 5. Yeah, this is not. We can get 2 attack boosts, but maybe we should think about another weapon. We'll see. We'll think about it. We already set the illegal den, so if we don't have ward, then maybe we look for an item, else we are doing ward stuff. But for Fatalist, on the other hand, as we talk about the run we're getting into, I'll slowly transition into more focus as the game demands. But we do have Coma, and we do have Bulletin, I think. I think this is Bulletin. But this is how Fatalist works. If you don't know your mystery icons in this game, this is going to be really hard to identify, but essentially, the 2 mysteries in the middle here have icons if we're doing this officially as part of tips in a video, and then the 3 here on the left, middle, and right extremes then are actual, you don't know what they are. But the middle 2, if you know your mystery icons, what the mysteries look like on the board, then you can tell. For example, I know this is Bulletin or Nails. I think it's Bulletin. They have a very specific layout of the icons and the pictures that show on the piece of paper that tells you what mystery they are. And then Coma and Ward both have this red cross, but Coma has this cross kind of in this horizontal shape, whereas Ward, I think, has it on a vertical shape. But because I don't want to run into bosses later, I'm going to take a mystery now, as we get Kana. And Kana's is or Eels is easy because there's a picture of a slithery eel, or snake, or something slithery, something long and curvy that looks like a worm of sorts on your board. So that's how you know you have eels, if it is one of the 2 that shows up in Fatalist. I almost said Exquisite Taste. Fatalist backstory. Considering we have Ward and stuff, though, I guess we'll see. What did I say? I have Bulletin, so I should set the Forest for the moment. I don't know for sure. Maybe we have Footage Botanist, which means this is a good play, or maybe we have Household Hell into Vigil. It could be either or, but I can pop into the legal den just to look at something. Hiroyuki is We do have Ward, by the way, that we know, because the hospital pass here only appears when you have the mystery ward. So let's start preparing. These are going to be well worth the funds I pay. But we could also take a peek at another weapon if we see one. We don't, so, and the ally here never changes on a run. So once you start your run, whatever ally appears first in the, I almost said History Club, illegal den is the illegal den. But yes, just to kind of stay off topic for a little bit longer, yeah, I am dealing with swerving and stuff, so if I've said some things about sneak peeks into projects I've been working on, just throw that out the window, because I assure you, it's not going to be that anymore. Except for, obviously, one of the games I was already working on. I'm talking mainly about the Halloween project that I am working on, which I had to swerve because I realized as I was programming everything in-game that I was thinking in my head, that it was going to take a lot longer than a few months, so. And I never planned for any of these to be big projects, but there are times when you plan, and it just doesn't work out. We're going to grab a pack of cigarettes here, by the way, because I might need it. They cost 3 funds, so it might interest me to visit the tree. But for now, because I might have to visit the monument. I think I have the monument. Yes, I do. So let's use that really quickly, because maybe it asked for funds and we're perfectly okay still. But it didn't, so shrug. We have yet to run into a single encounter, by the way, but that could be for the better. Because even with Kana, you could just be taking damage, whereas opposed to events where you have a chance at only taking... you have a chance at taking damage, assuming you don't fail, then you don't. But if you do fail, or you succeed your events, you don't take damage. But if you fail your events, obviously you're probably going to take Doom. Stamina reason, as is to be expected. Usually on a level that you're not okay with. Some things only remove 1 stamina or 1 reason, but then you have to also look at threat levels, and it's a big numbers game. That being said, I will never deny that World of Horror relies a lot more on RNG. I wouldn't say a majority of it is, because if a majority of World of Horror in general was RNG, you would fail basically 51% or more of your runs, and that's just not the case. If you have a good handle on knowing your events mainly, and the enemies you could run into, but also some powers of prediction, and just general knowledge about how the old gods function and whatnot, backstories, character combinations, so on and so forth. So we have Coma and Ward. I'm trying to look for Ward, but I guess Ward is the one on the right. It should not be the second to the right, or second going to the left from the right, sorry. I don't know how to phrase that right now. I'm recording at a time that's probably not most opportune for me, and this is one encounter that I actually don't want to fight. Yeah, I'll probably just end up taking more damage here, so we're just actually gonna run. There are a few encounters where you could come out better if your ability to fight was a lot better. Unfortunately, with the old shotgun being slower than it usually is, I'm not willing to take the risk. I mean, assuming you can hit every single attack, like in that case, I think I had like a 60%. Yeah, it was 60%. So, will I gamble on 60% 3 times because I needed to do 8 damage per turn to defeat the apartment stalker in 3 turns while I'm taking 4 stamina, which isn't bad. It's not good, but it's also not bad. And you know what's also not good? This encounter too. I could handcuff Miku, but since I know I have Ward, we need to save the handcuffs for the boss there. I think... Was Miku our second encounter there? No, I think the apartments... Why do I feel like it was... Anywho. I think Miku was our second encounter. I didn't fight anything in Eels, that's why. We're gonna ignore and lose stamina, by the way. Otherwise, I knew I only had 3 dexterity. I might as well play the numbers. I mean, you can still make decisions that make logical sense in World of Horror. Just know that RNG does exist to hurt you at times. We have roads closed. We also have possibly some seaside status procs. I forgot what it's called at the moment. Again, I'm out of my mind right now. But hey, again, 30 minutes ago I was really thinking about something. Deft handling will help out. Thank you very much. But hopefully we need to get into Ward. The other two in Mysteries remaining aren't really boss fights, so into Ward I go. We'll save Coma for last, and we'll do the whatever was second from the left. 4th. But more importantly, let's make use of this hospital. Let's make use of this hospital pass. 40% Doom near the end of my 3rd mystery. I feel is pretty good. Or it's okay at least. If I had like 5 less Doom, I would be okay. We're starting to get good, and if we were 10 less Doom, if we had 30% Doom when we started Ward here, we would be very, very good. Again, here it's a matter of, well, we have deft handling now, but do I want to go for a 3 for 95%? Like, I'm probably going to hit 2 or 3 of these, so we might as well do this. That way, if I get to this next turn, I could gamble again, but I don't really like to do that. We'll gamble on a 95%. Otherwise, we're taking, like... If I miss both of these attacks, that's when that calculation doesn't work. For those who are less inclined to do math, but just know, it's all calculated. There are calculated risks. Do I want to use this, by the way? No. While it would be cool to be able to Bless Shell shoot the boss and then handcuff, I don't believe in my hand-eye coordination enough for that, but theoretically it should always be possible. I know this, as I roll a 12 on dexterity, so who cares about stats anyway, being low or high. I know this because I've done it myself, which means if I can do it, I know I am not the best person out there, like, hand-eye coordination-wise, memorization-wise, definitely. It's not me being humble, like, there's literal hundreds of videos of evidence on this channel of me forgetting things, so yeah. And then just, there's a reason I don't play shooters. Do I want to smoke these cigarettes now? I'm gonna do it. I don't even remember if we have Takshisan, but we're gonna assume that maybe we don't. That way we can work with this deft handling plus the thing. This would... No, it would not allow me to. I would have to brace first, which is fine. Unless I can do this. Prep attack, prep attack. You get kind of close. 95%. 16 damage. This would allow me to handcuff. And yeah, that's pretty cool. 95% risk, by the way, or 95% chance to hit, but 5% chance that I just get I would have actually just died there, but that's a gamble I was willing to take, and it worked out. Now, there are 5% of people who that would never work for, but as we go into Bulletin here, road's closed, by the way, so this is really gonna hurt, actually. Then 95% though, I would, that's usually a gamble. Now, if things were big at stake, like that, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but depends on what I'm looking at. Like, if I were to lose hours of progress on a 95% chance, no, I would not say that. But if I'm just to lose a run of World of Horror here, not so bad, in my opinion. So, while our cigarettes will dwindle down, I think I'm actually going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to take the curses here. It's Masuluk Hunger, because I want another pack of cigarettes to last me the entire run. Preferably. That's not always going to be possible, but sometimes it will be. And we might as well smoke them now, because we have the reason to spare. Or we have reason to heal. Let's do another force investigation, though. 20 cigarettes should be more than enough, is what I'm trying to say. And if that's not, that would be really weird, because between Bulletin and, well, Bulletin now and the rest of Coma, we have about 14 investigations, so maybe we run out of cigarettes, but I think Takushi-san is coming early. If not, well, we'll deal with it. Takushi-san is not the hardest encounter in the game. In fact, he's actually quite easy, but he can still be a problem if, for whatever reason, your Doom shoots up through the roof, which mine seems to be doing right now, especially with the roads closed. So yeah, we'll find out in a hot moment. Can I store this, by the way? I get close, but hey. And yeah, we brace here. I mean, we might as well keep bracing. So we lose 2 stamina for this, but that's perfectly fine. Unless I want to gamble here. I don't want to anymore, though. So we're just going to do this. So just so we definitely don't die to stamina is what I'm trying to say. Although we don't get a strong, we get a guaranteed strong still, not a prep strong. We get more handcuffs, and that will help for Takushi-san if and when we have them. I would also like that stamina, but I would also like to level up one more time and increase my strength. If not, so be it, but as we nearly die to stamina, we thankfully get out of this mystery. I think I still have baths available, but let's remember the note and then tell the Bulletin to come back 20, 30, 40 years from now. Because that is when the internet is invented. We do have the 6th floor, by the way. I also should look at this lighthouse. Not that I was planning to grab another pack of cigarettes, but we don't have Takushi-san anyway, so yeah. We do have the second encounter immediately, which should be Miku, if I recall correctly. And if it's not, well, I'm about to learn real quick. But into Coma I go. Again, Fatalist is all about the order of your mysteries and whether or not you want to take them. If you don't really mind your order, then theoretically Fatalist does a lot less to you, but there are still moments when, usually when you're picking your first mystery, you don't want to be stuck in, well, even Vigil, depending on your situation. But let's just say like Painting, where there are no weapons available. You don't want to go into Painting and then into Flood. You want some control there, but you don't lose everything by just taking those 2 mysteries back to back. Although those 2, like Painting into Flood, is quite the bad combination. Actually, Flood into Painting is probably worse, because you wouldn't have any weapons for the boss unless you get really, really lucky. For example, I think School, you could stumble into the other world and then maybe grab the katana, but that's hoping for a lot, but it can happen, if you don't know your mysteries on Fatalist. If you know your mysteries on Fatalist, you can definitely avoid Flood, and that's the main one to avoid. Right over Recluse. Recluse would be right under that, in my opinion. But hey. The reason why Recluse is right under that is because if you don't have a weapon for Recluse, your kicks are most likely doing 2 damage, and even when they're doing 3 damage, that's nowhere near enough for you to get out in 3 turns. I think it takes 4 turns with 2 sever damage. So if you somehow get 3, I think from having 8 knowledge or above in your first mystery, I mean, I don't know how that's going to be possible. It's not impossible. If you're on Ill-Fated, maybe, but we're assuming you have Fatalist here. So if you have Fatalist, there's no way you have Ill-Fated gains from experience, so yeah. And then you're kicking a ghost, the roommate, for about 6 damage a turn, and roommate has base, like, I think 20 or 22 HP, I can't remember. Either way, you do 18 damage in 3 turns, and you've taken 3 turns worth of likely 3 reason damage, which is 9 reason damage, which, again, like I said, you can survive. It's just, that's a lot of damage to take, and then you go right into Flood right after that. That's the holy grail of, oh my goodness, I didn't know, die. So, we don't have Toxicon, so there's no reason for me to take this Blessed Shell out. There is a reason for me to level up and increase strength, though. That way I can feel comfortable about my stamina no matter what. But it's the seconds I'm kind of worried about. Even though if I fail this one, I should be just fine, right? Yeah. Okay, we're just fine. If we somehow die, that would be very strange. But for the moment, that's Fatalist. Again, could have been... I think the worst combination I could have taken here was probably Ward, because Ward, unless I get into the Dullness fight, we wouldn't have had a weapon. I did wrong in second. And then right after that probably would have been not really anything else, actually. I think getting Kana last would have been the worst thing, because obviously without Kana I would have been taking a lot more damage in encounters, just straight up. We also did lose 5 reason, but we still survived, so hey, Fatalist stuff. So without further ado, that unlocks the, I forgot, Uchida as an ally who, you know, doesn't actually see much use. But if you can fit in an Inspect action, which is the action that Uchida gives you experience for if you use it in an encounter for the first time, then sure. But if you can't, then yeah, he's just gonna be sitting there, and like other allies that you don't end up using, either you let him go, maybe you have party gift, or you send him at an enemy for damage. That's kind of a little small ally tip of sorts. But as we have about, we have 11 achievements left, still need to do, I mean, I could have done Dream Devour and or the Dream Enemies. I did run into the forest a few times, but in Fatalist, with Moriko's shotgun being as slow as it was, even with deft handling, like I would have wanted Moriko's shotgun to be normal, because maybe with the Blessed Shell we would have made something work. Though, keeping that in mind, my Doom did shoot up through the roof, so... And then fighting the final Dream boss would have... Well, I could have unplugged the Patience to deal more damage. We're still losing HP there. But without further ado, I mean, I'd like to thank you for watching. Support me however you want to, or not, and I will see you later. Thank you for watching. Bye!